We are seeing that these icons work, people understand them. Sometimes I think that, well, it seems obvious that this would be understood, but it's not necessarily obvious that somebody who's never seen like this could understand what the symbols meant, but we've seen that it has actually worked. We've got other examples. I reduced this one down a little bit because otherwise it wouldn't have fitted on the slide, but here we've got high contrast icons with a mixed version, that is, in other words, icons and text. And this is the large size. Here we've got the one for outdoors. And we've got also sign language as another option. Before we had icons and text, here we've got the option of sign language. And also of the supporting projects, we had Avatar, which is sign language. Then we've got Google Translator, which is for translating from different language. And then we also have text-to-speech, so that a blind person can use and surf through the platform. This is what I've been talking about then. We've got this inclusive design, as we call it. We have co-design and then technological validation. Everybody with disabilities were being taken into account. So for co-design, we involved people with hearing impairments, visual impairments, and motor skill problems. We had two things for co-design. First of all, we used questionnaires, which was about looking at things in general terms, what people would like to have. And then we had the information for, well, that was information that was useful for the general design of the experimental platform. And then the second stage was to do focus groups. So we brought together different people, and the idea was to look in greater depth at the exact function, if you want light, radiators, if you want something to be switched on, switched off, if it to go up or down, and the access devices that they wanted, whether they wanted it to be via an iPhone, via a computer, etc. And then the experimental validation. The experimental validation was done in metal hic. It was done with elderly people and people with hearing impairments, above all for the sign language. And it was about validating the user devices, the architecture for accessibility, to make sure that the interfaces were good, that they really worked. The usability of the prototype. We wanted to look at the prototype itself, and here it's a demotic prototype in this case. We wanted to validate and look at the monitoring and surveillance systems so that we could tell that in the home itself, when it says that the light's on, then the light is indeed on, and other more technical issues. And the things that we used, well, we can see here on the screen, we have a touch screen, a TV, or a monitor, and we used an iPhone, an iPad. I think I've forgotten one. I think we had 6, and I think I'm forgetting one. But I've got it in the notes below the PowerPoint, so I can check. So the conclusions, well, we developed a demotic control prototype, which was adapted to the needs and preferences of the users. And this was achieved by using an interoperable accessibility architecture developed by Inrelis. The users were at the center in the design and also in the validation. And it also was of great use to develop the steps to be followed for new projects in research. So, well, that's it. Well, the title was wrong. What I wanted to see... Oh, sorry. Well, what I wanted to say was thanks to Inrelis, of course, to FEMPA, they're the ones, and Alicante University, they were the ones that allowed us to use the home to do our checks. Also the Autonomous University of Madrid, they helped us with the sign language, and the portal, the Aragonese portal for alternative communication. And, well, I think with that I've finished.